What's up YouTube, and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about Arsenal. All things Arsenal, why they're hated so much, and is it even valid? If you're new here, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That'll help a ton. Our goal is to hit 200 subscribers. We finally hit that 100 subscriber mark. Thank you guys so much, and I'm excited to continue to grow. But let's get to the video. So first of all, this Arsenal hate, right? This 2025-2026 Arsenal hate needs to be studied. All right, Arsenal is a team who has been memed and clowned online for finishing second place 3 years in a row. They are a team who, for some reason, have this ego of champions yet haven't actually won anything since 2019, right? And what they did win was an FA Cup, right? This is a team that truly doesn't deserve the praise that they feel they do or that they give themselves, and I think that's a big part as to why people just hate on them so much, right? And so now they're finally winning. You would think that, people are going to say, now is their time. They've worked so hard. This is what Mikel Arteta has been building up to. However, it's the way they're winning it that's just the issue, right? Now, first of all, you had Mikel Arteta hire a set-piece coach, right? On one hand, that's good. Set pieces is a big part of football. You need to perfect your set pieces, right, in football if you want to win titles. It's that simple, because set pieces are huge. If you can't score through them, right, you're missing out on a lot of goals. However, Mikel Arteta and Arsenal took that to the nth degree, right? In the sense that they almost only rely on set pieces, free kicks, corner kicks. They purchase their players based off of how well they are in set pieces. I mean, you have Declan Rice that can whip them in easy. Bukayo Saka is just a hidden gem that they ended up finding themselves through their academy. You have Gabriel, for example, who's amazing at set pieces, right? And good for them. But when that's the only thing you rely on in a football game, no one wants to watch that. This is not what teams are paying for. Now, of course, Arsenal fans won't really care, right? And if United was doing that, I wouldn't care too much either. Maybe I'd care a little bit. I think we have a little more respect for ourselves. But regardless, right? Arsenal fans don't really care because if they're winning, they're winning. Why should they care? And I don't blame them for it. But this is not what football's about, right? We want to watch entertaining, amazing, joyful football, right? We want to see some skills. We want to see some open play goals, not just build up, which they have amazing build up. They have fantastic build up, right? All that went out the window against Man City in the FA Cup or the EFL Cup final. But regardless, they have fantastic build up, right? But what Arsenal does is they just fight for a corner and then they celebrate like it's a goal. And it's just insane, right? This hatred we're seeing that Arsenal is getting, right? When United was winning all these Premier Leagues back in the day, we weren't getting this much hatred, right? When Man City was winning this, we weren't getting this much hatred, right? Because when you're watching Man City, when you're watching United back in the day, I mean, it was actually enjoyable football, right? In Man City's case, you had Leroy Sané, Raheem Sterling, you had De Bruyne, you had David Silva, you had absolute ballers, and the goals that they scored, Lord have mercy, insane goals. Any neutral can tune up to a Man City game and just enjoy the football. This is what Pep Guardiola brought to the Premier League. Now, what is his disciple Mikel Arteta bringing? American football. Like, no one wants to have a game pause for minutes at a time just for you to take a throw-in. That doesn't make any sense, right? We don't want to see that. We want to see the ball rolling. We want to see the ball moving. We want to see some actual football. I mean, I saw a stat not too long ago. I just couldn't find it. But I saw a stat not too long ago that was essentially stating that Arsenal, in their last game, only played 50-something minutes of actual game time. The rest of that was just time lost due to ball going out of bounds, right? So throw-ins, corners, goal kicks, all that stuff. They wasted so much time. And no one wants to see a game like that. This isn't what the fans are paying for, right? You have managers coming out and literally talking about how Arsenal's play style is, how it's taking advantage of the rules, how the Premier League isn't stopping this. I mean, you have ex-players, Thierry Henry, Jean-Michel Aubi. You had in Jean-Michel Aubi's case, he was literally ranting about how Arsenal's playing, how they should be embarrassed to win the way they are, how they're not actually playing football. In terms of Thierry Henry, he was actually defending Arsenal, but he understands that yes, maybe the style of play isn't great, but you still have to respect it because winning's a win, because a win's a win, and I understand that to some extent. But I still think that if you are going to win, it's also important to win the right way, not just to win just for winning's sake. I mean, that's why players who dive so much are hated, right? That's why players who complain so much are hated. Bruno Fernandes, for everything that he's done during the game for Manchester United, he still gets some hate by the fan base just because he complains a lot, right? So people don't really want to see this. When you have a team, imagine a whole team that does that, right? You have a team like Arsenal who would complain about every single thing, who would overreact about every single thing, who would try and dive and win a set piece rather than actually building up the ball and moving that up the pitch and trying to score through open play, right? I understand it's smart, and I understand to some extent that that's where the game is headed, but that's not where the game should be headed. You know, I understand that Mikel Arteta has found the most effective way to win a title, which is to be a set piece merchant. I get that, but no one wants to actually watch that, and nor do I think you should be proud to win like that, right? I mean, I think what really made me make this video is the fact that, you know, usually when you have a top six winning, the rest of the top six, right, are always going to hate, right? Because there's always a possibility for any of those teams, give or take, actually take away Spurs because they don't exist anymore in the top six. But there's always a possibility that any of those teams could win a title, right? There's always a slight possibility that all those teams can win a title, right? So when one is winning, you're always going to get some sort of hatred towards that team, right? But when you have the whole league literally hating the number one spot, that's when you know there's an issue. Teams like Brighton, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, all these teams just hating on Arsenal winning the title because of how they play. It's insane. When you have managers of those teams coming out and speaking about Arsenal's style of play and how frustrating it is to watch and how this isn't football and how only one team tried to play football, I mean, that's when you have an actual issue. And what got me is the fact that you have even Madrid fans and Barcelona fans bonding over hating Arsenal. I mean, let me know if it's just me. Let me know in the comments below if it's just me, because this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I've never seen hatred to this level before in my life. It's absolutely insane. And I'm here for it. I honestly love it. It's peak entertainment, in my opinion. Everyone watching Arsenal, wanting to watch Arsenal lose. However, they only keep winning. So good on them for winning. And if they win the title, at the end of the day, no matter how they play, you can't say they don't deserve it, because number one is number one. But I also think you really shouldn't be proud of the way you play. And it's even more disheartening because Arsenal, I feel, as a whole, as a team and as a club, they are a team that has built, that at least had a reputation of playing beautiful football, right? They've had amazing goals. If you look at Arsenal goal compilations throughout history, right, throughout the 21st century, right, they have amazing goals. Absolute bangers, right? Giroud, Thierry Henry, just so many beautiful moments, right? And to see a team like that relegated, but technically even better than they were in the past. But to see a team like that playing the football that they're playing now, I mean, it's just disappointing. And I think on top of all these things that just make Arsenal so unlikable, you then have their fan base. And their fan base is what did it for me at first, right? You have their fan base that have the egos of Real Madrid fans, right? Even Real Madrid fans don't have egos like this, but they deserve it, right? If you win 15 Champions League in your history, if you win 3 in a row, right? If you're always constantly in the top 4 in the Champions League, I understand that. Have your ego. You know what I'm saying? If you're a team who hasn't won a Premier League in 20 years, if you're a team that the only thing you've won in 20 years is an FA Cup, and yet you have the audacity to come online and talk about Saka being the best winger in the world when he hasn't really done anything for your team. He has done a lot, but when he's nowhere near world class, in my opinion, I mean, come on, brother. You're making it too easy to hate on you. You're making it too easy to hate on you, bro. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Just pipe down. You haven't won anything yet. And yes, for all this hatred that Arsenal receive, are we going to eat our words this season? Yes. You know, for all the memes, all the good times that we've had on hating on Arsenal these past 3-4 years, right? All this time where Arsenal is finishing second, and we could just constantly just hate on them and meme them and just have a laugh, and everyone in the league, everyone in the world can bond over Arsenal just being known as bottle jobs. All that's going to disappear, and I think that's partly what adds to this Arsenal hate. The fact that they've now built a reputation on being second place. They built a reputation on being gooners. They built a reputation on being bottlers. And now, if they win the league, all that goes out the window. And I think we're losing peak entertainment of football. We're losing peak headlines, in my opinion. And it's going to be sad. It's going to be disappointing for everyone else. But I will say, if they do win the league at the end of the season, they will deserve it. I just hope that next season, the Premier League can come out and do something about these set pieces, because God forbid I have to sit through Arsenal winning games through set pieces alone. Right? It's absolutely ridiculous. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Peace.